There's a reason why I didn't come on here immediately after the show and give you guys an NXT Takeover review for Philadelphia. I don't think there's any possible way that one could. I don't think that anybody would be in the right frame of mind to even talk about this show because of what went into making it. You see, when people look at professional wrestling, when people think of professional wrestling, they automatically think of this negative stigma behind it. And I don't want to sound like a broken record. I don't want to come on here and repeat myself in any sense of the word. But there's a reason why we all love professional wrestling. There's a reason why storytelling in professional wrestling is some of the greatest storytelling that you will see anywhere on this planet. And everything was just characterized in that match, in the main event, with Johnny Gargano and Andrade Cien Almas. Picture perfect. I don't think those two guys could have done any better at taking us along for the ride, having us start at the bottom, bring us all the way to our peak, roller coaster in between, up and down, and then at the end, just fucking heartbreak with Gargano losing. I'm going to go on record to say that was probably one of the greatest matches professionally I have ever seen. Ever. I'm going to go on record to say that Johnny Gargano's stock is that of an AJ Styles right now in WWE. Johnny Gargano is that damn good. There is nobody in the WWE that tells a greater story than Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano is AJ Styles-esque when you talk about top performers in WWE. You want to agree with me or disagree with me on that? I don't really give a shit. After last night, everybody is a fan of Johnny Gargano. I don't want to shortchange Andrade Cien Almas either. I've been saying for months that the guy is probably in the top 5 best performers in all of WWE. Last night, he may have solidified the fact that he may be one of the best wrestlers in the entire world, never mind the company. I proclaim that Johnny Gargano should have won the NXT Championship last night. There's a reason why I didn't do a review immediately following the show. It's because we were running on all emotion and we collectively were not thinking the right way. I even tweeted out at the end of that match, I was heartbroken, and I think WWE made a terrible creative decision for 2018. There's a reason why I said what I said last night. There's a reason why I've been proclaiming that Johnny Gargano should win the NXT Championship in Philadelphia. Sometimes I let my emotions get the best of me. Sometimes I do not think long-term or what WWE is probably doing, but there's a reason why I don't think long-term when it comes to WWE. It's because they have let us down more times than not. There's no reason for us to believe WWE will do the right thing. And I'm even including NXT in that. No matter how good they have been and no matter how many right decisions they have made, I'm talking about the company as a whole with guys like a Johnny Gargano. When has WWE ever done right with someone like a Johnny Gargano or someone like Johnny Gargano in the form of this type of babyface? When has WWE ever gotten it right? They haven't. It took WWE to listen to the audience after a year of us complaining, bitching, moaning, and us pretty much hijacking the shows for Daniel Bryan to get his shot. It was because of WWE's ignorance, they almost let that one slip right under their nose. They were not going to push Daniel Bryan. They were going to give us Batista versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania. We, the people, changed WrestleMania 30, and we gave Daniel Bryan a crowning moment that will go on to be one of the greatest WrestleMania moments of all time. But was WWE going to willingly do that on their own? Was that in their cards? No, it was not. Has WWE ever done the right thing when it should have happened? Lately, no. Even NXT, no matter how good they've been, I don't trust WWE to complete a story. I don't believe in WWE to get me to that end point where we can all sit and just think back about how great this journey was. Reason why Johnny Gargano should have won the title last night is because of WWE's track record alone. Another reason why WWE should have put the title on Johnny Gargano is because of, look at all the talent that they have coming in. Look at all the talent that is already primed for a main event spot. EC3, Ricochet, Aleister Black, Andrade Cien Almas, Adam Cole. Then you got Drew McIntyre coming back. Has NXT's main event scene ever been so stacked? Then you're going to add Gargano and Ciampa to that? Velveteen Dream coming up? Lars Sullivan coming up? Where is there going to be a room for Johnny Gargano when this is all said and done? So I'm in the mindset of thinking who's coming in and how far is Johnny Gargano going to be pushed back. Last night should have been one of two things. One, put the title on Gargano and have Ciampa come out and ruin his celebration with his wife there. Two, have Ciampa ruin the entire match and be the one to ruin Gargano's win, with Almas retaining the title. Those should have been the only two decisions. I don't want to take away anything from Andrade Cien Almas. I understand that there are people out there who believe he deserves a run with the championship. I do. Believe me, I do. But last night, to me, was the right situation, the right crowd, the right match, the right storytelling. I mean, for fuck's sake, you listen to the pulse of the people. There wasn't one human being sitting down during the last 10 minutes of that match. Not one. I couldn't even sit still. I was sitting at the edge of my couch, sweating. And then when Gargano finally lost, I got up and I had to walk it off. I was pacing my floors. When WWE can emotionally invest you in something like that, I want to believe that they're doing something right, but their track record always makes me realize that I can't put my full trust in somebody. But then again, I'm thinking, just like everybody else, did they make the wrong decision? That was everybody's big talking point. Last night, going into this morning, it was all over Twitter. Did WWE make the wrong decision in that main event last night? And I sat and I pondered and I watched again and I thought, what is WWE going to do? How many different roads do we have to get Johnny Gargano to where we need him to be? Is it going to be one of these situations where Gargano tried his very best to get to the promised land but couldn't overcome his past? Is it going to be one of those situations where he's going to have to get rid of Tommaso Ciampa first before they give him the NXT Championship? When is it going to happen if that's the case? Will WWE fast track Tommaso Ciampa to be the NXT champion, with Johnny Gargano having to go through his best friend or his ex-best friend to win the championship that has eluded him all this time? There's multiple stories that WWE can tell here. Multiple stories. But it's very difficult for the reasons I already gave you. Very difficult to believe that WWE is going to do right by this. I want to believe the storytelling that they're doing here is going to revolve all year around Johnny Gargano and him winning the NXT championship. But with all this incoming talent, where is there going to be room for Johnny Gargano? I don't know. I don't know. Tommaso Ciampa was clearly limping last night. Clearly limping. He is not ready at all to come back. So I don't even know what WWE's mindset is for both of those guys, Ciampa and Gargano. Maybe WWE is waiting for Ciampa to come back to fully go full steam ahead with this storyline. Maybe that's why they didn't give Gargano the title last night, because Ciampa is going to be such a vital role in this thing that giving the title to Gargano this early will only spoil plans for a greater ending this summer. But it's very difficult to look back on that show and think, wow, man. Wow. That would have been an unbelievable moment if Gargano won the title. That crowd was ready. It was the right moment. It was the right match. The storytelling was absolutely picture perfect. They couldn't paint a better picture. I'm also wondering, how can they get better than what they did? I think Gargano Almas is done. Gargano's 0-3 against Almas. I think Gargano and Almas is completely finished. Gargano will hopefully eventually get the title, but it won't be at the hands of Andrade Cien Almas. It's going to be at the hands of Tommaso Ciampa. It's going to be at the hands of Aleister Black. And I'm thinking about what's to come for New Orleans. Is Ciampa going to be ready for New Orleans? Gargano Ciampa at New Orleans. Aleister Black versus Andrade Cien Almas in New Orleans, with Aleister Black winning the NXT championship. Then what do they do with Aleister Black? Does Gargano go through Tommaso Ciampa to get to Aleister Black? And do we get that match in Chicago, Money in the Bank weekend? Do we get that match at SummerSlam, which is NXT's WrestleMania? So many questions. So many questions following last night's match. But watching that match back twice, I can honestly say Johnny Gargano and Andrade Cien Almas will be my number one match. I doubt anything in WWE is going to be better than that. I doubt. That will be my number one match at the end of 2018. That's probably going to be the best match in all of WWE, period. Johnny Gargano is AJ Styles-like. He's on the level of an AJ Styles. I don't give a shit if you agree with me or not. He is. He is. That match rivaled anything on the entirety of Wrestle Kingdom 12. In fact, I'd go over every match on that show and pick 10 times out of 10 Gargano and Almas from TakeOver last night. I don't give 5-star ratings out all that easily. That was the easiest match I've ever given a 5-star rating to. Ever. I'd go as far as to say that Gargano Almas was better than Jericho and Omega. I'd go as far as to say that Gargano Almas was better than Naito and Okada. I'd go as far as to say that this one match was better than the last match that we had with Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada. Last night, we all sat and we all just put the world's problems behind us and we enjoyed the greatest storytelling that there could ever be for a professional wrestling match. Like, I'm still in shock over how great that match was. And believe it or not, And I know some of you felt the same way because that's how good Aleister Black and Adam Cole was last night. I felt for a good 10 minutes, I'm like, oh my God, I don't think these guys are going to follow Aleister Black and Adam Cole. There was the first 10 minutes of that match that I honestly believe that they were not going to get the crowd's attention because the crowd exuded so much energy into Aleister Black and Adam Cole. I thought that Johnny Gargano and Andrade Cien Almas were going to wrestle a great match in front of a dead, tired crowd after what we've seen in that Extreme Rules match. And my God, they turned that shit around to where everybody in that arena was standing on their feet. Not one person was sitting down. Takeover last night was one of the best that WWE has ever produced, and I have never been more excited for the future of NXT than I am now. I can only hope that this really turns into the Johnny Gargano show and that we get Johnny Gargano to where he needs to be, and that is NXT champion. I mean, if WWE is really going for the story of Johnny Gargano has to go through Tommaso Ciampa to get to where he needs to be, then so be it. WWE has a lot of room to work with here. They could even go as far as to do Aleister Black versus Tommaso Ciampa and Ciampa win the title and have Gargano have to go through Ciampa to win the title. I'm hoping they have something greater planned because after last night, it's very difficult to think that WWE can top what they did last night. Unbelievable match. I'm not even going to review it. I have nothing to say about the match. There's no possible way for me to sit here and go over that match last night. None. Easily one of the best matches I have ever seen. Most definitely the best match that NXT has ever produced. Ever. Just an unbelievable match that will go down in the history books. Unfucking believable, man. And the best thing about it, you know, with Zelina Vega, I kind of knew just watching Zelina Vega last night and her getting involved in the last couple of minutes of the match, you kind of knew that WWE putting the camera on Candice LeRae in the front row, that she was going to get involved. And that even plays up to the heartstrings even more when that big moment comes. They had everything lined up last night. It's so difficult to not put the title on Johnny Gargano when you had everything working for them. Johnny Gargano did not want to die last night. And the fact that his wife was there and she got involved in the match to help him try and win the match, I was hoping that he was going to pull it out. But the fact that his wife was sitting front row and she got involved was an absolutely fantastic way to not only get her involved in this journey, but get her involved in the NXT brand in the best way possible by defending the honor of her husband against Zelina Vega, who will do anything to make sure her guy wins the match and retains the title. It's absolutely fucking simplistic storytelling, but at the same time, it's goddamn brilliant. Unreal. Tommaso Ciampa just, you know, it wasn't even the cherry on top of the cake. It was just fucking fuel on top of the fire. And what I hope is one of the best storylines that WWE can ever tell us. I want to remain positive here. I'm not upset that Johnny Gargano lost. I hope that I really got across to you guys how disappointed I am in them not pulling the trigger last night. Everything, literally. It's very difficult to sit here and tell me that, you know, what they did last night was not picture perfect. They had the opportunity to pull the trigger and everything went perfectly. If they put the title on Gargano last night, it would have been one of the best moments ever. And you can see how passionate I am about this because I've said this for weeks. Johnny Gargano and the babyface that is Johnny Gargano does not come around as often. You don't see a guy in professional wrestling that the crowd gets behind this much. With the storytelling that Johnny Gargano does, his facial expressions, his never say die attitude. I mean, the guy literally was fucking out of his mind, dead last night, bleeding from the mouth, kicked out of everything. Andrade threw everything at this guy. And he kicked out. Johnny Gargano is a one-of-a-kind character. It would have been fantastic if they put the title on him last night, but I'm trying to remain positive, and I'm trying to think about what I thought was a negative last night. I'm trying to make as much positive out of it as I can, because I want to hope that WWE has faith in Gargano. I want to hope that WWE knows what they have in Johnny Gargano. But their track record really proves otherwise, man. Their track record really proves otherwise. Best match in NXT history. Might even be one of the best matches of the fucking decade. Best match of the year. WWE really opened up a lot of eyes. Johnny Gargano and Andrade Cien Almas opened up a lot of eyes in WWE, period. And you know, the one thing that worries me is, what is Vince McMahon going to do when we get Andrade Cien Almas and Johnny Gargano on the main roster? Can you imagine when they hit the main roster, what these guys are going to do on Raw and SmackDown? You're going to look back on this night and be like, what the fuck is WWE doing? I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it, man. Unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff. And if you guys missed any of that match last night, I highly recommend you go back and watch it, because there's nothing that I'm going to say to even bring it justice. There's nothing I can do. Nothing I can say. Unbelievable match. Takeover last night was easily one of the best takeovers that WWE ever produced. There wasn't one bad match. I mean, there was a botch here and there, but it wasn't anything that was going to ruin the entire show. Those last two matches made the entirety of the weekend, and Royal Rumble's going to have a very difficult time tonight to even come close to matching anything that NXT did last night. We had Percy Watson and Mauro Ranallo on commentary. This was another big thing for me. Mauro was absolutely fucking on top of his game last night. And I'm so happy that Percy Watson knew that he should stay in his lane. I'm glad. Now, I'm not the biggest Percy Watson fan. I'm hoping that he can grow on me. I'm glad that they finally got him wearing a suit instead of looking like he's going to a club. But I'm glad that Percy Watson stayed in his lane last night, and 90% of the night was all Mauro. Give the mic to Mauro, have him tell the story, have his voice go along with the action, and bring me on this journey and tell the story through his eyes. Percy Watson was there to add very, very simplistic commentary. Mauro would kick it back to Percy. You know, Percy would add, something that any one of us could add to a match, which is basically nothing. Just open your eyes and just talk about what you see in the ring, or make a common thought about why the Authors of Pain are the odds-on favorite here. What does Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish have to do to take down the most dominating tag team in NXT? Outsmart them. Outsmart them. Go for their legs. Chop the big men in half. Something simple like that. Percy stayed in his lane, and Mauro really shined last night. And it makes you wonder why this guy is not the voice of Monday Night Raw, or why this guy is not the voice of SmackDown Live. It's amazing to me how Triple H sees how valuable Mauro Ranallo is, but Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn and all these other fucking idiots on the main roster, they don't value a guy like Mauro Ranallo. Everybody's got to be robotic on the main roster. If I'm building a wrestling promotion and I'm looking for a commentator, who am I going to go with? I'm going to go with a fucking Michael Cole? I'm going to go with a fucking, what's his name? Phillips? Are you kidding me? No, I'm going with Mauro Ranallo. They did have Corey Graves there last night, which kind of made me scratch my head. If they wanted to replace Nigel McGuinness, who apparently was out with the flu, they could have easily put Corey Graves in that spot. I would have loved to hear Corey Graves last night during some of those matches with Mauro Ranallo, but they kept it as a two-man team, which is surprising because you know how WWE loves their three-man teams. But Mauro was on top of his game last night. Some of the best work he has done in WWE since he's been with the company. I will talk about Aleister Black and Adam Cole in just a little bit. I do want to talk about the women first. The women last night. Shayna Baszler and and Ember Moon. I was very skeptical about this match. In fact, this was one of the matches that I had penned pretty much a decisive outcome. I thought Shayna Baszler was going to win this match pretty much because this was her first big match. I didn't see WWE throwing her in there and having her lose right away. And I thought Ember Moon literally was going to be a transitional champion and that they had plans to move her up to the main roster. That was my thought process because of Shayna Baszler coming on in and getting this title shot so fast. But what they did last night with Shayna Baszler and Ember Moon, not only did they tell a great story, not only did they play up to the strengths of both Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler, they knew Shayna Baszler was not ready for this spot. And you can tell just by the way she moves in the ring, she wasn't ready for this top spot yet. But they made the most of what they had in Shayna Baszler, and it came out brilliantly. Brilliantly. They played up to the fact that Shayna Baszler was a machine who was bent on shedding blood last night, breaking Ember Moon's arm, and will do whatever she can to break that arm to win the NXT Women's Championship. The entire story of that match revolved around Ember Moon suffering the same move and the same injury that Dakota Kai did 2 weeks ago. And that was the entire story of the match. Ember Moon just playing that underdog babyface in this match. Playing that never say die. I am not losing this fucking title. You're going to have to kill me to take this title off of me. She played it perfectly. She played it so perfectly, and the story was so beautifully told that Ember Moon actually hit the Eclipse on Shayna Baszler. And there was only one woman that ever kicked out of the Eclipse, and that was Asuka. She hit the Eclipse. It looked to be over, but the story of the match was the arm. Shayna Baszler injured that arm so much that Ember Moon could not bring herself to make a cover in that match, in that moment. And then Shayna Baszler realized that she had a second life. She got that cross arm breaker on. She didn't let it go. Ember Moon was stuck in that move for 5 minutes. Fighting and clawing. Literally, Ember Moon was clawing at Shayna Baszler. Trying to dig her nails into Shayna Baszler's skin to let go of that hold. Reaching the ropes. Trying to get the ropes. Trying to maneuver and weasel herself out. She got to the ropes. Shayna Baszler pulled her away from the ropes. Right back into the middle of the ring. Ember Moon seen one opening due to the inexperience of Shayna Baszler in a wrestling ring, and she took advantage of it, and she pinned Shayna Baszler to a point where she had absolutely no escape while maintaining that armbar. And Ember Moon retained the title, and in a shocking finish, yet brilliant finish, Ember Moon retains the title. Ember Moon was a superstar with that match in Brooklyn against Asuka. She added to her superstardom at Takeover Philadelphia last night. The story she told, trying to overcome the odds with the injured arm being the storyline, Shayna Baszler's inexperience, yet ferocity. Absolutely brilliant, man. We all knew Shayna Baszler was not ready for this role, but they played to her strengths beautifully. I didn't expect a 5-star classic from these two. But what we got played brilliantly into what Shayna Baszler is right now, and I couldn't ask for anything better. Seriously. After the match, Shayna Baszler attacked Ember Moon, sore loser. Ember Moon was being helped up by officials to the back. Shayna Baszler rushes Ember Moon, chokes her out, and then walks away, goes back again and chokes her out. Ember Moon, Shayna Baszler, clearly not over with. You're going to add Kairi Sane to the mix. I sense a triple threat match at WrestleMania weekend in New Orleans for TakeOver New Orleans. Great stuff by the women. And I think WWE, no matter what I thought about this match going in, they played to each strength beautifully, and they gave me something that I really did not expect. Shayna Baszler lost her first match, real match, in NXT, and I got to give kudos for WWE for making the right decision there. Because I was under the impression that they brought in Shayna Baszler, they were going to give her this match, they were going to give her the title, they were going to give her the win, just based on her past accolades in MMA. You know, with the Women's Royal Rumble, I would not be surprised that WWE put the title on Shayna Baszler. But they didn't, and Ember Moon won the match in a very, very surprising, underdog, babyface-like comeback. Great stuff. Adam Cole and Aleister Black. We talk about Extreme. We talk about two guys who potentially could be the face of this company, never mind the brand, company. Adam Cole had his breakout moment last night in NXT. Finally, we got to see what Adam Cole is really made of. Away from the Undisputed, alone in a legit match against the number one man in NXT. We all know what Aleister Black can do. We all know Aleister Black is primed and ready for the main roster. We all know Aleister Black is going to be a major superstar. He's got the look, he's got the theme, he's got the entrance, he's got the in-ring skill. He's got everything. Dude is fucking amazing. Adam Cole, this generation's Shawn Michaels. Some people say they look at Adam Cole and they see a young Shawn Michaels. I see it. Adam Cole is going to be a future piece of this company, whether you like him or not. He's got what it takes. He's got the mic skill. He's got the in-ring ability. He's got that look. He's got that cockiness and charisma. He's got Undisputed backing him. They got something great here in Undisputed. This was a breakout moment for Adam Cole. This was Aleister Black at his best. This Extreme Rules match was more extreme than the entire Extreme Rules pay-per-view that WWE put on last year. It's amazing how NXT gives us an Extreme Rules match named after the same pay-per-view that WWE has every spring. Why was this match more extreme than anything on that show? I don't understand it. If you're basing it off that, then the pay-per-view name and that pay-per-view concept should go away, because if you're not giving me shit like this, then that pay-per-view should not even exist. That was the first thing I thought of when this match was over. I was surprised by this outcome. I really was. But when we got the conclusion of the main event with Gargano and Almas, this outcome actually made a little bit more sense. I believe they are going to go with Aleister Black and Andrade Cien Almas at Takeover New Orleans, and they're going to crown Aleister Black as the NXT champion. This was not really a number one contenders match, but you could look at it as if it was a number one contenders match. These two told an amazing story in this match. Absolutely amazing. It lived up to the Extreme Rules moniker. Adam Cole came out and knew what he had to do to beat Aleister Black. There were some great spots in this match, man. Great spots. Kendo sticks. Aleister Black hit a moonsault off the second rope, in which Aleister Black, I don't know how he didn't know that Adam Cole was just going to nail him with a kendo stick. He did an acai moonsault off the second rope. Adam Cole was ready like fucking David Ortiz, waiting to hit a fucking home run over the Green Monster, man. He was ready. Boom. Right in the chest with that kendo stick. Beautiful spot there. We had a table spot that was set up on the outside. That didn't come into play until later in the match, towards the ending. There was a ladder brought in. Aleister Black did a fireman's carry, not a fireman's carry, almost an electric chair, and almost folded Adam Cole in half on the ladder. There was a spot with Adam Cole. He sets two chairs up. Now, normally when someone has two chairs in the ring and they want to do a move, they set the chair up face to face. Adam Cole set the chairs up back to back. And I'm like, whatever he's doing does not look good. This looks grisly. Adam Cole picked up Aleister Black, and instead of doing the Ushigoroshi, he did it on the backs of the steel chair, the tops of the steel chair. I was cringing. Oh, no, Aleister Black did that to Adam Cole. I'm sorry, I had it reversed. Adam Cole set the chairs up, and then Aleister Black did the Ushigoroshi, or a fireman's carry, over the steel chairs. And Adam Cole, I was in pain for Adam Cole at that point. Unreal. Aleister Black was then climbing the top rope, and in a great spot, Adam Cole took one of the steel chairs, threw it at Aleister Black. It kind of dazed him for a bit. He kind of got thrown off his game. Adam Cole super kicks Aleister Black off the top rope. Steel chair right to the face. Aleister Black falls off the top rope to the outside, through two tables. Crowds chanting, holy shit. One of the best moments of the match. There was another moment in the match where Undisputed actually came down and Mauro was going crazy. You know, there's nothing we can do about it because this is all legal. Undisputed came down. They tried to help Adam Cole win this match. Then Sanity makes their return to NXT. They fight off Undisputed. Killian Dane was in the ring just stalking his prey. You had O'Reilly, Fish, Alexander Wolf, and Eric Young on the outside. Killian Dane, like a fucking monster, runs the ropes and does a vicious suicide dive, taking everybody out on the outside. This was all happening after Undisputed attacked Aleister Black and placed him right by Mauro Ranallo on the announce table. They cleared everything off. They were going to put him through the table. They left Aleister Black pretty much lifeless on some NXT, production crate that was sitting by ringside. Sanity comes in, does their thing. Aleister Black and Adam Cole then by the announce table. They're fighting. Adam Cole is laying back first on the announce table. Aleister Black jumps off this production crate and he drives both knees into Adam Cole through the table. Vicious spot. This match was all over the place, man. At this point, this easily stole NXT TakeOver Philadelphia so far. And then Aleister Black at the end. Fans are chanting, Mamma Mia. This is awesome. Crowd was going crazy for it. Black brings it back into the ring, hits a super kick. Cole crawls for a steel chair. Adam Cole was yelling. That he's going to end Black. And little did he know, out of nowhere, Black Mass for the win. And Aleister Black gets the victory over Adam Cole in the best Extreme Rules match that we've seen since AJ Styles and Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. Yes, I'll give Roman props. That was a damn good fucking match. This was the best Extreme Rules match since AJ Styles and Roman Reigns a few years back. Unbelievable match. Aleister Black, more than likely, is positioned as now the number one contender for the NXT Championship against Andrade Cien Almas. There was also a spot in this match where Adam Cole was choking Aleister Black out with the kendo stick. He literally had the kendo stick in Aleister Black's mouth, and he was wrenching back in like a camel clutch position, man. Brutal stuff in this match. Brutal stuff. So, these two matches, man, the two main event matches made this entire weekend. It's going to be very difficult for WWE to even come close to what these two matches did to close NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. Ricochet was in the crowd. EC3 got a major pop. He was in the crowd. He is going to NXT, which I'm happy about. We could still see him in the Royal Rumble. War Machine was at ringside. So WWE, NXT is looking fucking like an all-star league, man. Unbelievable. So I can't wait to see what comes for all three of those. Ricochet, EC3, and then War Machine. Candice LeRae was at ringside as well. We also had the Velveteen Dream versus Cassius Ohno. This one was probably the worst match on the entire show, but still great in its own right. Velveteen Dream comes out, does his thing. He was proclaiming that he was going to knock out Cassius Ohno in 30 seconds, which he did, but he didn't go for a cover. Cassius Ohno, he's got that boxing aura about him. And Velveteen Dream comes out wearing boxing trunks that say Dream on it. So I like the fact that the Velveteen Dream plays up the fact that he takes a portion of his opponent's gimmick and applies it to his wardrobe in the big match situation. I really like that. It's very creative, and Velveteen Dream has been doing great things, man. 22 years old. You guys know how high I am on Velveteen Dream. His ceiling is limitless. And a lot of people are now jumping on board. And you can see why. This one was a hard-hitting match. He knocked out Cassius Ohno in 30 seconds. Dream was jumping around like he won a boxing match. He didn't go for the cover. And then Cassius Ohno literally, I swear to God, he hit Velveteen Dream so hard that his mouthpiece came flying out of his mouth with two roaring elbows. Velveteen Dream had Ohno grounded for most of this match. Dream, talking trash. Ohno comes back with some more devastating shots. Double axe handle off the top for a 2 count by Dream. Dream keeping Ohno grounded. That's what he had to do because you don't want Ohno up with those devastating forearms and that big bicycle kick. They trade shots in the middle of the ring towards the end. Ohno starts to take control with a big boot, senton splash. Ohno with that cyclone kick for a 2 count. Dream blocks a neck breaker. Backslides Ohno for a 2 count. Dream blocks a super kick and delivers one of his own. Dream with a spike DDT. With another 2 count. Now, the spike DDT, I don't know what the hell happened there with the spike DDT. That was one of the botches I was talking about earlier. It looked like Cassius Ohno did not know what was coming, and Dream, it was like some sort of miscommunication. It was like Velveteen Dream didn't go with the full impact of the move, and he just kind of lazily took Ohno down with him with absolutely no impact, as if they didn't know what to do next or what spot was coming next. So that was a real head-scratching moment in that match. Back and forth, Dream covers after a 2 count. Ohno nails a big elbow, can't get the pin. Dream counters, nails a big Death Valley driver on Cassius Ohno, which was very impressive, getting the big man up. Dream goes to the top, and he didn't go to the top rope. He stood on the ring post, because the ring post now has a larger, flatter surface. He jumped off the ring post more than halfway across the ring for the Purple Rainmaker elbow drop. Nailed it, 1, 2, 3. Velveteen Dream gets a win, as I knew he would, over Cassius Ohno. Very good match. Like I said, Velveteen Dream usually has really standout matches. On this night, it was going to be very difficult for even him to do something with what we've seen with the 2 main events on Philadelphia. So Velveteen Dream beats Cassius Ohno with the Purple Rainmaker. He gets the win over Ohno. And finally, NXT Tag Team title match. It opened the show. Story of this match was, how was the team of Fish and O'Reilly going to take down the Authors of Pain? They cut the big guys down, and in the end here, I mean, this was a pretty slow match until the last maybe 5 minutes. I really wasn't all that into it. I just didn't see that there was any chemistry between these two teams, and I think a lot of you guys felt the same way. Still a very good match. It did what it needed to do. I think... Looking back on it, I honestly think that NXT kind of fucked up the match order. Looking back on it, I kind of feel NXT fucked up on the match order. This match shouldn't have opened the pay-per-view. I honestly think that maybe Aleister Black and Adam Cole should have opened up the pay-per-view. Because if you're going to put a match of that caliber right before the main event, you're always going to risk taking the crowd so much out of the remainder of the event because that match was so good. I would have opened with Aleister Black and Adam Cole. I would have went into Velveteen Dream or the tag team match and then do Dream, Ohno, then the women. I would have kind of mixed it up. I would have kind of, opened with one, closed with one, and then kind of sandwich everything in between. Because WWE did tread very, very closely to taking the crowd out of the remainder of the event because Adam Cole and Aleister Black were so good. But this match opened the show, and the Authors of Pain lose. They had a Super Collider backfire. O'Reilly seed an opening to roll up Akam for the win here. Undisputed retains the titles, and it looks like we may be getting something along the lines of War Machine versus AOP, and that'll be the end of AOP because I can't see them getting another title shot here. This is it. So I think AOP is going to put over War Machine. I think after WrestleMania, AOP is going to make their way to the main roster along with Sanity. And I think the Undisputed Era is going to run through TM61. And I think Undisputed Era is going to meet War Machine come Chicago at Money in the Bank. Or we're going to talk about War Machine and Undisputed at TakeOver Brooklyn in August. Either way you look at it, War Machine's going to send AOP up to the main roster. Undisputed and War Machine probably going to be the tag team title feud that WWE builds around going into the spring and summer months for NXT. All in all, this pay-per-view was absolutely fantastic. Top to bottom, it was one of the best takeovers that they've ever did. Aleister Black and Adam Cole, unbelievable. Andrade Cien Almas and Johnny Gargano, you guys know how I feel about that. One of the best matches that WWE has ever given us. Unbelievable stuff, man. We're going to look back on that match, and it's going to be the top of everybody's list for best match of the year in 2018. I can only hope that WWE gives Johnny Gargano what he rightfully deserves after last night, and that is the NXT Championship. Either way you look at it, I'm going to be here, and I'm going to admire the story that they're trying to tell. I just hope, and I want to have faith that WWE does the right thing. And I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. A lot of different avenues that they can take. Hopefully, I opened up some. If you guys have any more that you could potentially think of, let me know down in the comments. But NXT TakeOver Philadelphia going to go down in history. It made our weekend. Can the Royal Rumble top what they did last night? I don't think so. All I got to say is anybody but Roman. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys tonight for the Royal Rumble. Should be exciting as always, no matter the outcome. But anybody but Roman or John Cena. Let's go Shinsuke. and let's get that Nakamura AJ Styles main event for WrestleMania. I'm JD. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you guys tonight for the 2018 Royal Rumble.